The problem with the present is that it only makes sense with the context of the future. The date is August 9th, 2024. My name's Adriano and I'm moving out.
Moved out to a new city.
I'm gonna miss you, man. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Adri.
And now we move. Let's go! I remember when it hit me that I was actually moving out. It was getting stuck in traffic on the Gardner heading to Toronto. A little too much traffic, I'm not gonna lie. One hand on the steering wheel while the other was holding my camera. Might not be the safest way to drive, but I couldn't help it. I needed to record these moments. In fact, I recorded everything from the drive, packing, unpacking, moving luggage, and even doing laundry.
You gotta pay attention to it, never mind.
I thought of how I would remember these moments, how I would feel about these videos, how I would reminisce about the present as the past. I've moved out.
Cause the sun's engaged to the sky and my best friends found a new guy. I'm
Yeah, bro, what even is that? You have cheddar?
And so for the next 3 months, I decided to record my life in Toronto to preserve those feelings and experiences.
Everybody's falling in love and I'm falling behind.
I just finished reading Scott Pilgrim.
Okay, we get it. Turn it off. Oh, that's a terrible video. Oh my god. This was me the night before moving back home, crying my eyes out to Scott Pilgrim. Listen, it wasn't because the comic I cried, okay? Well, kind of, but it's something more than that. It doesn't look like something emotional, but it's one of those works that comes at the perfect point in your life. Right? Half our conversations are about things that we should be doing. For Scott Pilgrim, I feel like it was about the relatability of the story and characters. Yeah, sure, Scott Pilgrim fights his girlfriend's 7 evil exes with a bunch of Zelda and Shonen references, but it's more about the people. The cast are all early 20s living in Toronto after graduating, trying to figure out their lives as they change for better or for worse. It's only the relationships they have with each other that bring them together and are consistent in their lives, both past, present, and future. It connects them all. And from the outside looking in, it may seem like they're a waste of space, but they bond over that fact and their shared confusion of how they should spend their time. Each of them have their own issues and insecurities, and they're just trying to survive in a city that makes them feel small. Reading it at the beginning, I thought it was weird these characters acted like this. These were people I would make fun of for not having their lives together. But slowly as I read, and the longer I lived in Toronto, I looked at it completely differently. They're not adults, sure, no one is, but they are people. People the same way me and my friends are, whose lives change. I saw myself and the people in my life as these characters. When I moved away, I thought all my problems would go away, but it turns out they were just amplified. With no roommates, I was forced to face my own insecurities because I was alone. There was no one but me and my problems. So I made plans with people, went to shoots, did a bunch of things to try and be productive because I wanted to improve myself. And sure, it helped, but I couldn't shake away this feeling of confusion. Like my actions had no direction, or the ones that did only led me to have more questions asking what I really wanted. I could lay in bed all day, cry, laugh, eat ice cream, go to the gym, and none of it would matter because no one was there to watch me or congratulate me. There was no purpose, it felt like, to any of it. Even the days I was busy, I couldn't shake away this feeling of uncertainty. Never had I questioned myself like I did. I turned to journaling, and sometimes I turned to things that weren't so pleasant. I mean, anyone would. And in those moments, I could imagine the dark side of people's lives who lived in the city like I did, who had issues like myself from being lonely. And those moments showed me that no one had figured out the right way to do things, because anyone that has was just lowering their schedules because they just want to avoid their insecurities, just like me. Or maybe no one else has, or everyone has, or not. It doesn't matter. I couldn't shake away the fact that. And then my last week came. I turned 19. I went out a bunch to celebrate. And after a week of no sleep, I opened my laptop to read the last volume of Scott Pilgrim. And now we come full circle. Not once did I cry, complain, or tell anybody how I was feeling. I didn't know how to explain it. I feel like I still don't. So as I read the last book of Scott Pilgrim, I realized that in my own way, I've become a version of these characters. Characters that made questionable choices, whose lives seemed too ridiculous to be real, ended up becoming relatable.
I get along without you very well.
And as I read the climax of the story, it was just their lives continuing. But them being content with their flaws and way of life, all they could do was try better. That's when I start to remember how I was first moving here. Driving to Toronto, doing my laundry and thinking about how I would reminisce about the present.
Slept here from our first night. Was making a list of things to get.
Now it was the past, and I was reminiscing about those videos I recorded, the laughs I had, the busy days and lonely ones spent editing my room. I preserved the past, and now I was forced to watch it, knowing the end result. And so as I reminisced about those moments, the movie of my life, that is when I cried. I don't have my slate. It's at the condo now, but yeah. Wait, is it on? This is me moving back to Toronto for my second semester. Alright, let's go.
And you're gonna record me reading in silence?
Yeah, baby, why not?
Moving back to Toronto for my next semester, to most people it seems like nothing has changed. One hand on the steering wheel, the other recording. I still want to reminisce about the present. I want to capture it all the same way, but I get it now. No longer do I think my life will be perfect when I move away. I know not what to expect, but how not to expect. Because life only makes sense when looking backwards. Shit's crazy. It's so sick.
Remember this video? Yeah, it's first class done.
I still don't understand how I feel. Many of us don't, but I understand that looking back, it will make sense.
Say it louder.
I cried because everything had led me to that beautiful moment. It led me to accept the constant comparisons to others, my loneliness, and the unsure nature of my life. Today is the 9th of January, 2025. Just like Scott Pilgrim, nothing has changed. I am content with my circumstances. All I can do is try. So enjoy the moment.
This is fire!
Yeah?
I had these expectations of how life in Toronto would be, and without knowing it, I set myself up for disappointment. Looking back though, it makes sense. I appreciate the struggle. And I know that there is always a reason for it. Learn to live with your loneliness. Learn to live in the moment regardless of how you feel. Embrace it. Tell a story.
Remember this, Adriana's face.
But whichever way you cope with it, know that the truth we all share is nothing will go as planned. And that's okay.
Everybody has you up on their wall sometimes. Everybody thinks of you when they sleep at night. When I say everybody, I'm actually
is that it only makes sense with the context of the future.
That's crazy. Holy shit.
Sometimes, though, you need to put your camera down and look back to see the beauty of those moments. And maybe just cry a little bit.